We're gonna give you the best hypertrophy exercises for football, and we're gonna start right now. The old standby, 1990s football coach just screaming, "Mass moves, mass," while they're just blaring tons of Metallica. And that's true. You know, one of the things that we have to understand is, what is hypertrophy? If we're looking at hypertrophy, we have to recognize that if we can increase muscle mass, this in turn will help us get larger, and also this will help us increase our speed strength. Speed strength is a huge component around football. So if we want to become better football players, we have to increase our muscle mass through hypertrophy practices, and then in turn, long term, lead to greater speed strength output if we're programming accordingly. And that's something that we do inside of peak strength. Now, inside peak strength, we like to identify what's that first step, what's that first exercise that we can use to get more hypertrophic. Now, football players love to say that this next exercise doesn't give them mass. But it doesn't give them mass typically because you're not using enough weight, and you're not actually focusing on your technique, and you're not eating enough of mom's beef stew after that football practice. So we need to be doing full cleans. 6 triples, a minute 20 rest. Tell me, after doing 4 to 8 weeks of 6 triples on full cleans with a minute 20 rest, that 1, you're not gonna get stronger. 2, you're not gonna increase your speed strength. And 3, your traps and back haven't gotten more hypertrophic. Do that as that first key exercise for tremendous hypertrophy specific to football. Second key exercise. This is gonna be a classic old standby for football coaches, okay? If we're looking at football and we think about if we're blocking someone, hitting that duck step, you're throwing a nice stiff arm, or if you're reaching out, let's say you're posting up on somebody, what entails this position, this action, okay? We're looking at the deltoid, we're looking at pecs, triceps, and even stability in our trunk, okay? That's where the cleans come in. Now, if we've got that stable trunk and then we use an exercise like the incline bench, that's gonna lead to a tremendous amount of growth, hypertrophic growth specific to football. So football players love doing the incline bench, so do I. I recommend when we're looking at big time mass, okay? And even inside of peak strength, what we do is that we look at how can we develop strength and explosiveness, how can we develop hypertrophy and size. So our programming specifically for football players, and if you download Peak Strength at peakstrength.app, the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store, you can get into the football program and select if you're a lineman or a skilled position or a quarterback, and you're gonna get a program specific to your position. Okay, now, if I'm gonna do an incline bench set, right? I wanna take this off, and hit at least 6 reps. Typically, if I'm looking for muscular gains, I want to build that size. I'm gonna look at 5 sets of 9 with about a minute 30 rest. The first 3 to 4 sets, you're gonna feel strong. 5th set, you're gonna feel super puffy, super swolled up, and you might be failing. 5 sets of 9, though, is a great set and rep scheme that you can use to build that upper body that's gonna give you that specific muscle mass for football. Now, we're looking for hypertrophic gains. This next exercise is something that I'm gonna call out a lot of those football players for. A lot of you snowflakes. A lot of you guys are out there squatting like this. Going down, quarter squat here, shaking like crazy, and you're coming up, and maybe you're using 405. That's cute, but you're doing a quarter squat. If we're looking to increase size, we need to look at size occurs from adaptations of mechanical tension, muscular damage, potentially metabolic stress, and then neural coordination. If we're doing full range of motion squats, we have longer time under tension, that's gonna lead to greater mechanical tension. We have more eccentric component, that's gonna lead to more muscular damage. And also, if we're focusing on our technique, that's gonna help that neurological aspect, okay? We're gonna fire and recruit more effectively. So if we're trying to build muscular size for football, we should be doing high bar back squats, full range of motion, 7 sets of 7, a minute 45 rest. Do this all at 315, ask the grass. Stop putting 405, 495 on and doing quarter squats. that's not gonna help your vertical jump. That's not gonna help you be a better football player. If we're doing full range of motion movements, we're gonna have greater hip mobility. We're gonna have greater ankle mobility. Our trunk control is gonna be optimized. It's gonna transfer better to the clean. And now we start to get bigger. 7 sets of 7, full range of motion back squats, 3:15, minute 45 seconds rest. But Dane, we need to fill those sleeves out on our jerseys so that we look good. We need to make that nice and tight so our triceps get nice and swolled up. That's where this next one's gonna come into play. Now, I love using a movement like this, okay? Let's say dumbbell bench here, neutral, and you can get a command. Go, up, down, go, up, down, go, up, okay? So, let's do 4 sets of 7. That's gonna lead to some great hypertrophy in the pecs, the triceps, shoulders. The next aspect, so we've done 4 sets of 7. We're trying to push this in the dumbbell benches. Get up over the hundreds, let's go. We gotta push towards those benchmark lifts that we use to derive and build our peak strength programming. Again, that's how we develop peak strength. We use all of the different programs that we've used here to develop these Power 5 freaks. And to get to that next level, do you want to start on the high school team? Do you want to play D3 football? Do you want to play D2 football? We built these programs using those benchmarks. Now, we did the 4 sets of 7, go a little bit heavy. The last thing we can do is 1 set of 17 with a slow eccentric. This is where we're gonna see that muscular damage occur. This is where we're gonna start to see big time growth, and it's gonna be that sarcoplasmic growth. So we can go here, come up, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up. And we do this for a set of 17. One more. So that slower eccentric is gonna make it more challenging. It's gonna force a football player to deal with that uncomfortable feeling. It's gonna force that football player to develop that tricep strength to lead to filling up their jerseys. So 4 sets of 7, 1 drop set of 17, dumbbell bench, use an auditory command if you want, or you can even use a visual command. That's a unique way to try and improve that overall muscular hypertrophy. Okay, so what about the legs? Dang, we need to get those legs, big dog. We need to develop those legs. And that's a big aspect that we're gonna go into now. This next series is the man maker. This is something that's going to blow up your quads, blow up your posterior chain, and help you get incredibly strong and to deal with that discomfort. Again, we're gonna use this inside of the exposure phase and comprehension phase. We're trying to develop some sense of baseline to then build that speed strength on after we do all this hypertrophy work. So the first movement that we're gonna do is gonna be a sled push. Now, we wanna do this for about 12 minutes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a weight on that's gonna be reasonable, okay? So we're here, we can push, boom, boom, boom. Ooh. Okay, we push down. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do walking lunges. And by the time I do this for about 3 to 4 weeks, I wanna be holding 25s or 30s, something like that, okay? So we can go down, turn around, come back. Let's say you do 7 on each side. Okay, hold those dumbbells, come back here. Now, right back into it. I can already feel my quads starting to blow up and even my glutes. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, now back into those lunges. This, holy shit, will blow up your quads. I would take that 100-pound plate off and maybe a 45. Do this for 12 minutes straight as a finisher. So you start with those 6 triple cleans, get into a back squat, do the 7 sets of 7, and then you just finish with this. Right there is a great workout to blow up the quads. Use the incline bench, use that dumbbell bench, and ultimately head over to peakstrength.app, download the app, select football, and select the position that you're playing. Are you a lineman? Are you a QB? Are you a skilled player? We're gonna give you a program specific to your needs to help you become a freak. Because remember, freaks, if you want to become a champion, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.